As crazy as it may sound, the Eagles expect DeVonta Smith and A.J. Brown to be even better next season. How is that even possible? And Jalen Hurts is already showing signs of progression, but it's never enough for Chris Sims. And while one linebacker spot is solidified with Nakobe Dean, what second-year player is making a push to start alongside him? But first, let's run it. Hey everybody, I'm Josh and I cover the Birds. So yesterday, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown took a little batting practice while visiting the Phillies, who could definitely use some help. After taking a look at their swings, I wouldn't say it's a stretch to think Swole Batman could possibly provide a jolt to the lineup. If you don't recall, Brown was actually drafted by the Padres while at Ole Miss and was even close to trading in the helmet for a glove.
You serious, Clark?
Yeah, I am serious, since right before the Birds traded for A.J., he tweeted, "Sometimes I think about playing both sports again. At Padres, all I need is a workout. I still got it." Of course, my first reaction when I saw that last year was, yeah, okay, good joke. But according to an article from Delaware Online, Brown said he was dead serious. The Padres had reached out to him and they were about to invite him to spring training. They were just waiting on an answer from him. Brown said, "They were telling me if I'm still going to play football, then I can't play baseball. I can't just play around with baseball. So it kind of killed my chances for the moment." Thank goodness he did choose football, because we have an unstoppable offense in no small part to him and a franchise leader in receiving yards for a single season after just 1 year. As insanely good as AJ is, the crazier part to all of this is that the Birds practically have two wide receiver ones, and DeVonta Smith could very realistically have a better season than Brown after the All-Pro said Smitty is one of the best in the game, based on his great route running skills, being dedicated to the craft, and working hard to be the best player he can be. We work great together, work off of each other. We want each other to have success, make each other better players. I can't say enough great things about DeVonta and what he does and the way he approaches the game.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple.
If that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. Because Skinny Batman is about to be a dad, adding the dad strength to the repertoire.
I now have the strength of a grown man and a little baby.
But more seriously, Smith admitted to working with A.J. Brown to improve his releases and is looking for better routes to catch every pass thrown his way, since he can always get better, and that's what he's working toward. And despite it being more than 3 months before the start of the season, DeVonta also said, "I know what I need to do to play at the level I want to be at, and that's my focus every day. Nothing changes. We're getting ready for the season, and we have high goals."
I dream big, I shake things up, and I always wear dope suits.
But that focus and that drive are part of the reason why Smith definitely believes he's a top 10 wideout, which, in case you don't recall, Smitty went on the I Am Athlete pod saying he wouldn't call himself top 5, but is definitely top 10. Although, with the work and effort he's putting in, he expects to be top 5 soon. What do you guys think? If you watch the show, you know I've been super high on both AJ and DeVonta, but especially DeVonta for this season, and so is Zach Berman of The Athletic after he made a case for why the Eagles duo of AJ Brown and DeVonta Smith could be even better this season, saying Smith started the offseason rehabbing a toe injury, he's healthy, and the next step in his game is the mental side. This has always been considered a strength of Smith's, although 2 years in the NFL has offered exposure to evolving rosters and schemes. Preparing for opponents is part of his offseason work. Plus, there's also the improving chemistry with Brown, since last year was kind of fast on us with AJ just getting here. Smith said, "You didn't have that true full offseason to get to know each other and have dinner. It's now way better." The two combined for over 2,500 yards and 18 touchdowns, but they're going to get better?
That sounds good. I'll have that.
The other piece to point out is that AJ said only a couple weeks ago that he's focused on becoming a complete receiver by getting in better shape, working on his route running, and attacking the goals he's set. Maybe topping those numbers from last season isn't so crazy after all. But what do you guys think? What numbers will we see from the Slim Reaper and Swole Batman? Let's not forget, Jalen Hurts is improving too, which definitely plays a huge factor in all of this. Speaking of improvement, Chris Sims has been going through and listing his top 40 QBs, which, if you don't remember, last season Sims had Hurts at number 25. But Jalen vaulted all the way up to the number 7 spot. Yeah, that's awesome. Way to go. All right, I couldn't keep that up. Who does this guy think he is? I don't know, but the crazy part is hearing what Sims had to say about Jalen.
The ultimate gamer. The ultimate gamer. He really is. I think you could argue that he's the best leader in the NFL right now. I mean, damn, does he ever make the wrong decision? You know, it's the right decision, play after play after play.
Cool, so no arguments here so far.
I don't believe you.
Oh boy, here he comes.
His flaw, again, was a little shown in the Super Bowl. You couldn't play Aaron Rodgers the way the Chiefs played him, right? That's where they just sell out for the run and give you looks where you go, oh my gosh, this is the greatest passing look ever. We have to throw the ball, right?
Right.
Allen, Burrow, Mahomes would have been like, whoa, check. Fun coach called. We're going deep here. They got everybody at the line of scrimmage. They're selling out to stop the run, right? And I think that's where they're going. We can go next level. My point with the Super Bowl, and he did a lot of awesome things, but you know my point, is that it was a 10-point lead. He was on the better team. A lot of quarterbacks, if they were in that situation, would have been vilified. If Mahomes lost the game like that, he'd be vilified. Josh Allen, Burrow, whatever.
This dude makes me so mad, and I know before you tell me it isn't worth wasting my breath and it's all for show, you're probably right, but I can't help it. Like, what's Sims smoking? Are you kidding me? I think he's forgetting Hurts is the youngest quarterback to have a completion percentage over 70 in a Super Bowl, the youngest QB to throw for 300 yards without an interception in a Super Bowl, and the youngest with 4 total touchdowns in a Super Bowl. The argument that somehow Mahomes would have thrown for 550 yards is idiotic. Maybe he would have thrown for more yards, but it's like Sims is discrediting Hurts for the all-around playmaker that he is. Outside of the fumble, Jalen was near perfection, and this whole idea that somehow if it was another QB in the Super Bowl, they would have been vilified? That's ridiculous. I mean, are we just forgetting Herbert's 27-point lead that he choked away? I don't know, but Sims ranked Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Trevor Lawrence ahead of Jalen Hurts.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
So the hate continues for Jalen, but that's fine. Let the rest of the league sleep on him and see what everyone says after this year. How are you feeling on it? Let's move on. So defensive coordinator Sean Desai gave an exclusive interview to the Eagle Eye in the Sky podcast with Fran Duffy, and it's finally all coming together on why the Birds decided to go with Desai. He's a Bulldog. Well, okay, at least that's the nickname that the late George DeLeon gave him when the two coached together at Temple, and O-line coach Jeff Stoutland still calls Desai Bulldog since DeLeon was instrumental in mentoring Stout early in his career as well. It only makes sense with Philly loving their dogs so much, and it's really just a mentality Desai says to be able to develop the players and meet them where they're at to get them to grow and be better than what they think they could have become. And the only way you do that is if you understand them, you empathize with them, and then you push them and you challenge them to think a little bit outside their comfort zone to develop a new, fresher, advancing identity for themselves. Speaking of a new identity, SI.com's John McMullen asked, why not Christian Ellis at linebacker for the Eagles, since the second-year linebacker has really shined at OTAs and appears to be one of the players Desai wants to get the most out of. In case you didn't hear already, Ellis made the play of OTA so far when he showed tremendous instincts in zone coverage, almost baiting the veteran Mariota to try to hit a massive 6'7" target in Tyree Jackson, but once the throw was made, Ellis leaped and intercepted the football, making a serious impression on Desai and the rest of the staff, which began to get people speculating, could Ellis move to the off-ball linebacker spot? I don't think it's any secret that that position is probably the biggest question mark and or hole to fill, but with a guy who has NFL pedigree, runs a 4.58 at 6'3", 240 pounds, and possesses superb reported coverage skills, it doesn't actually sound too far-fetched. The 24-year-old has already made a splash on special teams, receiving some praise from Sirianni for his athleticism and ability to make plays, so McMullen argues it's not crazy to think Ellis will be pushing Morrow for playing time by the end of the summer, offering Desai more size and athleticism at a position where talent is needed. I'm pretty intrigued now to see how this one plays out. Still not sold on not being done in the free agent market, but I like the competition here and the potential athleticism of Ellis. But what do you guys think? All right, the other bit of info that came out yesterday during Lane Johnson's presser is that the future Hall of Famer envisions the recent extension he signed with the Eagles that keeps him under contract through 2026 being his last. It's not super shocking and obviously provides for a couple more years for him to compete at the highest level, but I kind of like this move from Pave the Lane. He sees the writing on the wall and the timetable for how much longer he wants to go, so it gives Howie an exact time frame for what he can plan on. No major concerns there, but it will be tough to see Lane go when it finally happens. I'll bet it's with at least another Super Bowl under his belt. This has been the Philly Special.